My name is Surinder Kaur Sandhu, and the 20th of August 2014, we were in Columbus, Ohio. I don't remember how we learned about it, probably from the TV. We were very surprised and we were wondering what happened. And our daughter was very young at that time, 20, and she wanted us to do something. Papa, do something. What do we do? Papa, let's do something. And then not me, but my husband, he started calling around people whom we knew. We didn't knew many people at that time, but I think 84 brought us close to several people, and in the nation. We didn't know much, how many people are here. And we wanted to do something and we didn't know what to do. We called India, my husband's sister in Delhi, and they told us, there is no communication between Punjab and Delhi. And but we've heard that they're moving forces to Punjab and the roads are closed. But I don't remember anything else other than TV news and stuff like that. All my family was in Amritsar, Punjab. It was a long time after 88. On the 6th of I think it was 6th of June, I think. And it took quite a few days before we could find out how everybody was. Everybody was safe. Our friend in Chicago, she called early in the morning and told us about Indira Gandhi being assassinated. And, which then on the TV they showed lots of stuff, people distributing laddus and stuff like that, and dancing in England. And but in India we didn't see all this. And it was all very gloomy. In fact, there was Syria Christian Public School in Vasant Vihar where they were living, and the principal was our relative. My husband's elder brother, his wife, and Sardar, I forget his name, he was Sangha, his wife, they were sisters, and they were in trouble. There were lots of people around the house, and they said they were going to burn it. And then they called my brother-in-law, Brigadier Ajit Singh, and he said, I'll make arrangement for you all to come over here. They were saying we can't come out because there are people around the house, and I don't remember how they got out and what happened then, but they were not harmed. They were all right. I didn't know it was something like partition that came to my mind when families were separated. Our parents were not with us during partition. Yeah, it felt we don't know if we are going to see them. All my family was in Amritsar and around Amritsar. It was very shocking, and after Mrs. Gandhi's death, our TV wasn't very nice, but that had VCR with it, and I think I continuously taped everything that was there coming, and even Peter Ustanov's interview, and several other things, gruesome things too. I wasn't doing anything active, but I was just licking the envelopes and putting stamps on, things like that. But my husband and both our son and daughter, they were helping him too, and he was writing several things at that time, and we supported him, and we were awake with him, and we would get up with him. Before that, the Hindus never said about anything about the Gurdwaras or us being Sikhs or anything, but after that, many threatening calls also would come, from Hindus. We don't know who they were, but they were all our friends. But after '84, they won't socialize with us like we used to do before. There is something in there which is still there. Otherwise, no, they're okay, but it's not the same thing. My parents, they were in Okada, Montgomery district, now in Pakistan, and my grandparents were close by. That was it was Chuck number 8 in against the same district, and but we originally belonged to Amritsar. Our village is across from Khalsa College. It's Kot Khalsa, but we were not there. None of us were there. We were all in Okada and Chuck 8, and we went home. Actually, we got at that time. I think it was middle of early August, I think, and there were fires and stuff, lots of riots in Amritsar, and of course Lahore. I wasn't aware of that at that time. I was young, and then all the children were going home. We were in the boarding, and they made us write home that they should come and pick us up. And then my father made an arrangement with my cousin brother, whose father died when he was very, very young, and he's been brought up in our family. And he came to pick me up with a friend, actually a relative. He was also one of my from the village, Chachaji. So they both came to pick me up, and there was curfew outside, and we couldn't go from the road, so we had to go through the fields. There was some crop at that time, and we went through the crops, and it was shortcut from Majita Road, Amritsar, to Khalsa College. So we went there, and we stayed the night at the village, and the next day we caught the train to go to Okada. So we went through. You had to go through Lahore and then go to Okada. We went home, and we were spending our vacation when one day my Mamaji came. He was also in the army. He was posted in Jabalpur, and he came just by himself, and he said my mother's family was a couple miles away from there. The station was Ranala Khurut, and the Chuck was number 5, and they came, and he came in the morning. He came in a day before, and then the next morning he was asking my father to let the children go with him to Jabalpur for the vacation, and because India is going to be partitioned, and there's going to be lots of problem, and I want, I can take the children with me. I want all of you to come with me, but you know, I know you won't go, and let the children who came from their boarding house, they can go with me. And he said, no, the children came home for the vacation, I'm not going to let them go, and they should stay home. So the next morning, he again asked my mom. He said, Biji, he called her Biji. He said, Biji, ask Payaji to let the children go with me, but she didn't. She tried. He didn't agree. He said, no, nothing is going to happen. We are in this place. We are safe. We are near home. So they were sitting next morning. They were sitting outside. It was hot weather, and having cha in the morning. And there came Hukum Singh, speaker. He walked in, and we didn't. I don't know if my father knew him before or not, but I think we didn't know him before. But he came and seeing a Sikh officer, and he said, "Ke mainu todi help di lod hai." And I said, "What do you mean?" He said, "There's going to be very, very great problems ahead because of the partition, and I want you to help me cross the border." He said, "What can I do for you?" He said, "Get me some conveyance and some person to go with me who would see me across the border." I said, what do you want me to do?" He said, "Get me your uniform. I need your uniform. Otherwise I won't be able to go anywhere." So I said, okay. He gave him his uniform, and then he asked for I don't know if you are familiar with it's called a weapon carrier. It's bigger than the jeep and the station wagon, army station wagon. And he gave that to him, and asked he was major at that time, and his boss was colonel. He was an English person, Dr. Colonel Wright, and he asked him, this is the problem, and he said, okay, I'll make arrangement. So he gave him the weapon carrier, and he gave him the uniform, and he went away after breakfast, or I don't know, lunch, I don't remember. And my uncle said again, I said, "Payaji, please let me take the children. You heard him, what he said?" And said, okay. He okayed it. And we were supposed to go, and then next station was my Nanka's. Maybe one more station in the way. So we were supposed to pick up my maternal grandmother, and two of my mamaji were there, but one of them was married, the other one wasn't married, and one of my masiji who was not married, and one masiji was married, and she was expecting a baby, and she had one baby toddler with her. And then my mamiji, one of the mamiji, she had two daughters, little ones, and she was expecting two. So we were going to pick them up on the way. And so we went, and my chachiji, I was telling you, one of my cousins who took me to Okada, his mom and his sister, and the sister had a baby, and they were there, and they also came with us. Me, my brother, who was older than me, and then my eldest sister, and my younger sister, who was younger than me, 4 of us, and my naniji and those all of them, and who else was there? I think that these were all there. Chachiji and my cousin sister Panji Balbir and her baby, and we all went with Mamaji, and my father came to the station to see us off. It was in the morning, and the train we were supposed to go by was gone by the time we reached the station. And they said the next train is coming this time, and it was late again. And my father said, I have to go to office. I can't wait any longer. And Mama said, you go ahead. I'm with them. I'm going to take them with me. Don't worry. That's my responsibility now. I said, okay. So when the train that had passed, we were supposed to catch that. But we didn't get in that train, and the rest of the party was waiting at the station. And then we got into the other train. We went there, we picked them up, and we went to Lahore. And up to Lahore, everything was okay. And when we reached Lahore, there was curfew outside. And one of my Mamaji's friends, I forget his name, he was a colonel at that time, and he'd sent a big truck, because probably Mamaji had already told them that how many people are coming with him. And he had the army truck, and there were sheets hung on the sides, and he told us, okay, when we got out, he said, there's curfew outside, no one is going to put their head above this these sheets. You keep sitting till we come to a stop. So we went with them. We don't know where we went. We were taken, and everybody had very little baggage with them. And we went to his house, and there were other people also there, other than us. And we were all so many people, and there was a couple, they had the baby that night. And we'd never seen that little baby. And we stayed 2 nights with him because no trains were going. And then before the third night, evening, we went to the station to get on to the train. And it was so crowded that because we were young, and we were lost in the crowd, and we were asked to hold on to each other real tight. And my younger sister was about 3.5, something like that. And we were holding hands, and then so much stink of the pasina, and because it was garmiya and paid, and so much, it was so crowded. When we got into the train, there were Muslim guards in the train, and their wives were in the same compartment, and they started shouting, no men in here, no men in here. And my grandmother said, there's no men are not going to be here. My son is going to be another compartment, men's compartment. You don't worry. We have also daughters with us. And they said, no, we don't want any man. And that was my brother. He was about 14. And so Mamaji took him to his compartment and put him in there. And but then the train started, and Mamaji was with us, and it was so crowded, and my Naniji started crying. He said, he's my he was my emanat. मेरे नाल जा रहा थी, and I'm not going to, what am I going to do? What am I going to say? I don't know what's going to happen with him. And Mamaji said, don't worry, he's going to be fine. At the next station, I'll get there and he'll be all right. But then she was quite upset, and the next station the train slowed down, Mama ji brought him over and showed him to Nani ji, and then we went along. Next morning we reached Bhatinda, and the train stopped there for a long time, and it was very hot, and those ladies were not with us anymore. I don't know where they got off, I don't remember. And the train was standing since late at night, at midnight, I don't know when we reached there. And we were small at that time, young children were sleeping, and when we woke up it was very hot, and my Naniji said, maybe we can open the windows and open the door, and then there'll be some cross ventilation. So the windows were open and the door was open, and we heard a train come down and slowed and then took off. And one person out of that, and we were wondering what happened. The train came, didn't even come to a stop, and then went again, got speed and went away. So then we realized there were Nihangs the station there, and they were hiding behind the sacks of wheat, but their spears were being you could see them, you could see moving, and there was some movement, and probably the train guard, this train was going to Pakistan, so he didn't stop there, took off. Next train was going to come, and then they hid, and then they hid the spears also on the floor, and that was within our seeing. We didn't even realize that this is what's going to happen. And then when the train stopped, all of those Nihangs, two, three in each compartment, they got into the train. And as soon as the train pulled, they started killing people. And one person came running to our compartment, ran through the compartment, and two other Nihangs were following him through the compartment. We didn't know, it was so sudden, we didn't know what was going to happen. And he got off, and they followed him, and they out of the windows we were watching, and like it would be like our lawn from here, and they killed him with the spear. He was saying, I'm not a Muslim, but they didn't listen to him. And my Masiji, she fainted seeing all this. And then we were all hungry, but when we saw all that, we were not hungry anymore, because we were all scared. When Mamaji came from his compartment, he closed all the windows, all the doors. He said, keep the door closed, we don't know what's going to happen. And so then the train was still there, and then we saw lots of people coming with lassi and rotiyan and dal, sabzi and dahi and stuff like that, and we had a very good meal after a long time. And after that we went to, when the train started, we went to, Mamaji took us to Agra. My Mamiji's brother was there, and he said, yeah, that was Agra, I think. He said, we'll go there and stay a night there, and then we'll move on, because everybody must be tired, and also, can have a bath, have a nice night's sleep. And we went there, we stayed 2 days, and Mamaji said, now we'll go to Jabalpur next day. And my Chachiji said to him, she said, Paji, I have a request. He said, what? she said, we don't want to go any further. We will go back to Amritsar. We have a home there. We had no connection with the people behind, or we didn't know anyone ahead. Then Mamaji said, I'm going to worry about you because you're my responsibility, and what am I going to say to Payaji? And they called him Payaji. Said, what am I going to say to Payaji? She said, don't worry, tell him they've gone to Amritsar. They've gone home. And he said, how are you going to go there? Because my brother was only 14 years old, and they were all girls with him, and with Chachiji. And he said, it's going to be very hard on you. She said, you know what we'll do? I have a Chachaji in Delhi. We'll go to him and we'll stay there till we have a safe, we know that, it's safe to travel. We'll stay with them. He didn't agree, but then Chachiji persuaded him, and he said, okay. So we went to Delhi, we reached Delhi, and there was a curfew again in Delhi, and we didn't know what to do. And Chachiji had the address, but we didn't know how to reach it. So when the curfew was over, the station master was very nice. He got us a tonga. There used to be tongas at that time, no taxis, no nothing. So we got in the tonga and we reached the place. And they were surprised to see us because there was no letter, no tar, nothing, and we landed there, all of us. And he asked, is everything okay? Where did you come from? He knew she was with us in Okada. He said, is everything okay? And she started crying. And he thought, everyone is gone. Only these people survived. So he said, koi nahi, baitho tusi, aram naal, ye toda car hai. We'll make you as comfortable as we can. So we went there and we had our bath. All our clothes were dirty. So Chachiji called the Tobi and gave our clothes to wash. There were riots in Delhi also. So whenever there was any rola, everybody, there was Gurdwara Sahib's Mata Sundari across from their house, and everybody would go there. And one day our clothes, the Tobi had the clothes, but he had some problem like this, probably they shouted, there's the Sikhs are coming. He was a Muslim. The Sikhs are coming, the Sikhs are coming. So he ran away. So we didn't have any clothes. Chachiji got a than from somewhere, Khadarda than, and she made us salwara kameez out of that. So we stayed there till October, almost October, and it was getting cold. And we had no intimation where Papaji was, and Biji was, and who is where. And my cousin, his wife, they were coming they were left behind. So they were going to come, they were not going to come, they were going to stay with my parents. So when probably one of my Chachaji was in Jalandhar, posted in Jalandhar. Probably he wrote, or maybe my Mamaji wrote back, told them where we were. And he came to pick us up, Papaji. It was dark in the evening, and there was a station wagon standing, and he was asking for the address. And me and my sister, we ran and clung to him and don't leave us. Then they told us their stories, how they reached. village in Amritsar, family, most of the family is there. And we were not sure where all of them are. So my father it's a small place, Ukada. And there were the others, not all Sikhs, but Punjabis, Hindus, and he was telling them nothing is going to happen. We were all here. I am here. Why you were? And they would. Then another gentleman, I was telling you about Colonel Wright. He was standing outside when he came for lunch home. He went back and he saw him standing outside and just wondering. He was standing out in the sun. He went out. He said, "What's happening? Why you look disturbed? Why are you standing in the sun?" He said, "I wanted you to come out to see me because I can't talk about it inside. The Muslim officers, they have a plan. They're going to kill all the non-Muslim officers and their families, and they have all that on the calendar, their calendars. So I want you to leave." He said, "I've been telling people nothing is going to happen. How can I leave and leave them behind?" He said, "No, I'll give you a truck and I'll give you a station wagon and you go." When the truck and the station wagon reached, people were all gathered. "You told us nothing is going to happen. What's this?" And my father said, "No, we are not going to take any baggage. All the people are going to sit in the truck and we'll take you there with us. We'll cross the border, and after that you're all on your own." So my mother thought, we are going to have some saman we can take with us. So she got she had a radio and a machine, sewing machine on the truck, and some curtains, but the curtains were taken off. My father said, "No, we are not taking anything. Nobody is taking anything because there's no room for anything." But then my cousin brother, he said, "We'll put the carpets where people can sit, and then we can have our carpets go like that." So those are the only thing we brought from Pakistan. Everything was left behind. They say we were in the station wagon, don't know how many hours, and she didn't ask for anything. No, she didn't wet the diaper, and she didn't ask for even a drink of water, because she saw everybody was worried, stressed, and she probably sensed something, And when we reached they saw several things. They were telling us, mothers lying dead and the children sitting by them. And then they reached Jalandhar, and they were with Chachaji. So my father went over there to Delhi, and he brought us also there. So that's how we were united. Nothing much, but when we were in Delhi, everything was in ration, and we were so many guests in there, so many people. And you couldn't get anything from the stores. So my Chachiji and her Chachiji, they had a chakki, so they had to grind the atta, and they said everybody will get one roti. So we were thankful. And when we reached Jalandhar, they found a big body of masrani dal, and that was swere sham dopehre sare, and they said we were sick of it. Said nobody is going to be sick of it because we've had a harder time. So, but it took a long time before we had masrani dal again in the house.